Hey, thank you for reaching out to the show again. It's a joy to get back with you to talk about this new album.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, just to kind of be done with it and just kind of as a reflective piece. 5 years ago, this pandemic began, and I know for musicians, all of these shows went away. There was so much uncertainty. Having this new album come out right now, with the world at hopefully a more stable place, how does it feel?
It's To be honest, I'm not thinking so much about the pandemic. Uh, it feels like things have, at least here in Iceland, you know, almost normalized again. Not maybe totally. There definitely the pandemic had a huge effect on live music, and it feels like the audience is not maybe everyone are going out to see concerts yet, but it starts to feel a little bit more normal. But at the same time, it was a huge, how to say, like a crisis for musicians. I had many plans and everything just went away. And
Yeah.
but the album, you know, I at the moment I'm trying to book concerts, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
So the name of the new album, it's your seventh one, is Hope. Why that title? What was the significance of calling it Hope?
It refers to actually a poem which my mother wrote, and she passed away in 2021. And it's a poem about being resilient and just going through hardships. And she refers to a hard winter in her poem. And I felt it was appropriate for this album because most of the music was composed in 2021, the year she passed away. So kind of maybe I wasn't maybe thinking so much about my mother when composing the pieces, but they were maybe a part of my, let's say, grieving process in a way. So I thought it was appropriate title to be hopeful as well, even though life has its hardships, be it COVID-19 or tragic family matters. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know in America right now we're definitely going through levels of uncertainty and disquiet. How are you perceiving that in Iceland with what's going on here in America and all of these politics and things happening?
To me, it's to begin with, I'm not really a person who thinks a lot about politics
Okay.
in general, but it feels a little bit strange, like kind of, yeah, if I dare to say so, kind of extreme in some way, because it's like at least really radical. Uh, and I have to say, I don't agree with everything which is maybe happening.
I don't either, and I did not vote for the individual that's in right now. So there's another half of us that's
Yeah,
definitely on the other side going no. I mean, our
yeah,
democracy is usually, from what I perceive internationally, is something that the rest of the world can admire as far
yeah.
as our benevolence and taking care of things and doing things for the right reasons. And right now, it just seems as though the train has veered quite drastically off track.
Yeah, it seems so. I don't know, like what to expect, really.
Well, and I think the reason why I kind of bring that up, because I didn't really want to get into that pigeonhole, is that music right now, musicians releasing music, it's such a
Mm.
good thing for us. It's a good escape, and I think I think the arts have always been very instrumental in times of uncertainty.
Definitely, and I think musicians have something to say and can influence it and do something with their music, make some statements, or even though I'm not, as I said, like a political person, I hope my music brings then something else to people's lives. But yeah, definitely.
So talk to me a little bit about the players that you have on this album. How did you assemble the musicians? How did it feel in the studio? Ultimately, what was it like?
Well, this project began because I had been studying in Sweden with the bass player. His name is Anders Jormin, and he was my teacher when I was studying in Sweden some years back now. And I always had this idea it would be nice to do something, make a record with him. And so actually in COVID times, I was thinking about doing a duo with him and actually organized two duo concerts in Iceland. But of course that didn't happen for obvious reasons. But then like in 22, 23, I thought, maybe I will try to make this a bigger project and invite the drummer, which I play regularly with in my trio, Magnus Tryggvason, and then guitar player, which Icelandic guitar player Hilmar Jensson, which I didn't play with before. And we decided to make this work and went to the studio in Sweden actually. So we had to fly, three of us, to Sweden to record with Anders in a very nice studio. Great grand piano, and it worked like a charm. Yeah.
I love the album cover. The picture is so alluring and interesting. Talk to me a little bit about that.
This is actually released on a label, small label, actually in Norway, and the label manager sent me a bunch of pictures, and there was nothing I liked. I really didn't like any of the pictures he sent. And I asked him, "Can you maybe send me something more, something maybe from nature?" And he sent me some more pictures, and then actually this one picture really struck with me. Oh, this is something. It fits with the title also, kind of. I think it's a beautiful picture.
So obviously, this album's deeply personal, being a poem your mom wrote, and just in general, during that time of her life. But ultimately, when the listener listens to this album, what do you hope they get from this artistic project that you put out?
I think I would like people to sense and experience maybe some beauty and calmness, maybe uh, with this album. But honestly, like in general, I just being a musician and writing music is mainly for myself, and I enjoy it. And as a bonus, if people also like it, that's a bonus. So
Absolutely.
it's kind of introspective. Like I am kind of an introspective individual.
Yeah. So, this is your seventh album as a leader, and obviously the backdrop to this is your mother. But when you look at your albums, how do you how do you view your life as an artist releasing albums? Is it an evolution? Is it a snapshot in time? When you look back on all these albums, how does it how does it evolve into who you are as a musician today?
I think there is some grain of my individuality in all these albums, but definitely they are a snapshot of time in my snapshot of myself, my development as a musician and also as a person. Uh, my first album, you could describe it as quite youthful, released 10 years ago. But still, there's like you could say, signature elements on it, which I still connect with today. So I think this is like this answer could be like both ways. It's a development, but also like there's something similarities in the albums.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about promoting this album, live shows, what's going on?
Well, that's a real struggle. Uh, like I had this hope, album hope,
Yeah.
that it would be easier to promote this album having Anders Jormin is quite a big name in European jazz scene, at least. Releases on ECM Records and has a place in the trio of Bobo Stenson. And Hilmar Jensson, the guitar player, is also quite known, but I haven't really seen anything. Maybe it takes time, but I think this is like a real struggle for so many artists to really promote themselves and get their names out there.
Yeah.
And I think it's the way people listen to music, like the majority of people today, is so different. Even from when I'm not that old, but even when I was a teenager, I listened to music differently than people do today. And now it's just all these playlists and this Spotify kind of background music, or like how people consume music. And I think that's really a huge cause for how difficult it is for artists actually to just go somewhere with their music. Yeah.
I agree. There's so much out there. There's so much that gets stitched together. Like the idea of listening to an album from front to back is almost kind of an archaic, like an ancient notion.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So what's the best way, speaking of getting the album, what's the best way for people to buy a copy and find out about what's going on with you, any of the previous releases? How would they do that?
I would suggest Bandcamp.
Yeah.
6 of my albums are there, and you can subscribe automatically to my mailing list on Bandcamp. I think it's a good hub for connecting with me and my music.
Yeah, and I will put that in the notes. Thank you again so much for reaching out. Best of luck with the album. We will shout it from the mountaintops. I hope everything picks up, steam starts happening. So again, thank you so much. It's great to reconnect, and I hope we do it in the future.
Thanks for having me again.
Thank you. Absolutely. Hello, friends. Joe Domino here. I just wanted to let you know that after 30 years or so, I have finally released my first book of poetry through the mighty Spartan Press here in Kansas City, Missouri. As the creator and host of both Neon Jazz Radio and the Famous Interviews with Joe Domino podcast, along with being a visual artist, I'm ready to embark on a new adventure and want you to be a part of it. You can get a copy online via Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and actually on the streets in Kansas City at the great Prospero's bookstore off 39th Street. You can also visit joedomino.com for links to the book, to more poetry, and everything in my world, including paintings. Thanks for all of the love and support over the years, and please dig the words.